Hello guys, let's discuss current affairs. We begin our discussion with a question on corrective actions, and here's the first one. Have a book pen ready. I'm going to give you some notes regarding certain crucial aspects. Here's the first one. Um, the Reserve Bank of India has taken off IDBI Bank from the PCA framework. PCA stands for, now what's PCA? The answer is there, prompt corrective action, but I'm going to give you some notes as to what exactly is prompt corrective action. And so let's start our notes. Please write PCA framework, subheading prompt corrective action. Underline that first point. The PCA framework, or you can make it this way, easy to understand. Under the, see, because I thought of giving a longer sentence, like cut it short. Under the PCA framework, comma, banks with BANKS, banks with weak financial metrics. Weak financial metrics means, benchmarks, data. Weak financial metrics are put under watch, 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 by the Reserve Bank of India. Full stop. To repeat, under the PCA framework, banks with financial, weak financial metrics are kept under watch by the Reserve Bank of India. Next point. The PCA framework deems means considers banks as risky if they slip below certain norms, 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 certain norms on three parameters. Full stop. The PCA framework deems banks as risky if they slip below the thresholds on three parameters. Full stop. The three parameters are capital ratios, comma, asset quality and profitability. Full stop. Next point. The PCA framework helps the RBI monitor, monitor key performance indicators, and take corrective measures to restore let me write it here, to restore the financial health of the bank. Full stop. The PCA framework helps the RBI monitor key performance indicators and take prompt corrective action to restore the financial health of the bank. Full stop. On breach of the risk thresholds, And we mentioned what are the risk thresholds, no? Profitability, the risk thresholds. We discussed profitability, capital ratios, and asset quality. These are the three parameters on which banks are deemed to be risky or not risky. So next one, on breach of risk thresholds, the RBI can invoke or can take, simple word, no? The RBI can take a corrective action plan, full stop. I'll spread this, full stop, corrective action plan, full stop. Depending on the threshold levels, there are three levels. Okay, we will not discuss these levels now, but let's look at this one. Depending on the threshold levels, the RBI can place restrictions. On dividend distribution, branch expansion, and management compensation, that is salaries of top guys like directors, CEO, chairman, and all that. So the bank is not doing well. Does it make sense for the CEO's salary to be raised? No, not. It doesn't make sense. So sometimes banks do this. So RBI steps in and says, no guys, you can't do this. And when things are not going well for the bank, when asset quality is very poor, the bank is making substantial losses or runs a risk of, making a loss. What the RBI would do here in this case, or could do rather, is that it would say that, look, let's not expand branches, let's not raise the salaries, let's not, let's not discuss the possibility of distributing dividend to different shareholders. Dividend is distributed profit. If a company makes a profit, if the bank makes a profit, typically a part of the profit is shared among the shareholders, those who provide capital. That's the idea. So this time IDBI has done quite well in the last few months. So it has been taken off the PCA framework. There are banks still on this framework. You have the Indian Overseas Bank, IOB, is still on this. Then there is the Central Bank of India, which is still on this list of PCAs under the PCA framework. And there is one more bank. What's the name of the bank? UCO Bank. So there is UCO Bank, there is Central Bank of India, and Indian Overseas Bank. Three of these major banks are on the PCA, under the PCA framework, on the PCA list actually. So they're not doing great, but then of course, the RBI has been quite hands-on and trying to undo the damage that some banks or rather some parameters have gone bad. Okay, that's the idea, nothing more. So this is prompt corrective action. Prompt means immediate corrective action. If things are going bad, the RBI steps in and says, no guys, let's first solve this and then we'll look at the future. Okay, next. As of March 5th, 2021, which country's foreign exchange reserves at about $580 billion have surpassed those of Russia to become the world's fourth largest? Of course, our country's reserves are the fourth largest in the world. Now 580 is a substantial sum for a country like India, because that would be about a little over 120% of our imports. If you go by this year's imports, it will be over 125% of imports. So we have enough to cover 12 months of imports, basically more than 12 months or 15 months, you could say 15 months of imports bill. But foreign exchange typically includes all the foreign exchange reserves the bank that the RBI has. I mean, you look at reserve money that comes in, so through foreign direct investment, through money that is raised as loans, everything is part of foreign exchange. So what happens is that this particular part, along with the other reserves that we might have with the IMF and everything is included in foreign exchange reserves, and we have the fourth largest in the world. Why shouldn't I give you a list of the top? Because the next question has this question, which nation has the largest foreign exchange reserves as on March 5th, as of March 5th, 2021, as per the International Monetary Fund data? China has the largest foreign exchange reserves. How much? Why don't we take a list of this? Shall we take a list? Yes, we shall take a list. Please write largest forex reserves. Largest forex reserves. Largest forex reserves. Underline that. In brackets, you could write source dash IMF. So all this data comes from the IMF. This is not my data. Okay. I went to the IMF website and found this data that I'm going to share with you now. So write you could write this rank, take a table like this, rank, country, forex reserves in $billion or dollar billion. This is technical bhasha. This is the way they write. Foreign exchange reserves in $1 billion. So the highest is China, of course, as you would rightly anticipate, because China is the world's largest exporter. Last year, China exported goods worth $2.5 trillion. That's about $2,500 billion worth of goods. $2,500 billion. Their imports were $2,100 billion. That's a trade surplus of $400 billion per annum. So over the years, China has accumulated a lot through trade surplus, one, and through FDI. Two major ways they have accumulated foreign exchange reserves. So their total as of today is this. It's easy to remember. It's actually this much, okay? But you can remember it as 4 threes. So China's foreign exchange reserves are, the number is $3,336 billion. In technical bhasha, very technical bhasha, you can look at it as $3.3 trillion, $36 trillion, because 1 trillion equals 1,000 billion. 1 trillion equals 1,000 million. So that's China. Number 2, Japan. If I'm not wrong, it's about 1380. Next 3, surprise, Switzerland. 300 less than Japan. So 4th is India, of course. We know that India's 580. Okay. 5th is Russia. It's actually, when we say it's 580.3 here, but I'll tell you what, this is 5th of March. So if you look at 15th of March, India comes out with this data on a weekly basis, whereas typically it's this data that's listed here is on a month basis. So this data for both these countries, in fact these top 3 countries, is for February 2021, whereas India's case, it is as of today. This is $582 billion. 30 is, what is this today? The third week of March, 582. Russia is 580. So pretty good numbers that we have. We have come a long way, because in 1991, I remember we had foreign exchange reserves of less than $1 billion. We couldn't have paid loans or any kind of, we couldn't have met any payments beyond 1 month. But then we have come a long way, very, very long way, from $1 billion to $582 billion, my friends. Okay. So you may wonder, where is Pakistan and where is the United States in this entire thing? So we got major economies. We got China and Japan, ranked second and third largest economies in the world by GDP nominal. And if you look at Taiwan, it's actually, let me clear this first. So the top 5, 4 is Russia, India, and 5 is Russia. Fair. This is actually 6. You don't require figures for this. This is 12 if I'm not wrong. This is UK, if I'm not wrong, is quite down actually. I'm not very certain about the number. For United States, I remember because they haven't been, United States is 21, if I'm not wrong, 21, not 12. I got the number jumbled. 21. It's less than 142 billion dollars. Very low, isn't it? Especially considering that it's a country that's, that exports and imports a lot of stuff, but they have a very big trade deficit. They import much more than they export. So, we have United States in the 12th place, 142. Pakistan, Pakistan, that's the rank of Pakistan. And when I was looking up this data on the website, I found that as of today, they have a total foreign exchange reserve fund of foreign exchange reserves of $3 billion, $3.1 billion, make it $3 billion. It's a bankrupt country, my friends. But for China, they would be bankrupt. They don't have enough money to pay for their imports. I mean, it's in a pretty bad place. It's a bad place to be in. So they are there. They are there. So those are the data, those are the numbers, my friends. United States on $142 billion of foreign exchange reserves gets into the 21st place. Pakistan 72nd place with $3 billion. China with 336, that is $3,336 billion worth of foreign exchange, puts it in the top rank, followed by Japan in the second place with 1380, Switzerland 1080, India with 582 in the fourth place, and in the fifth place is Russia with $580 billion. So that's how it is, my friends. Okay, Taiwan is 543. You don't require it. I mean, you just don't require such data. Seventh place would be Hong Kong, 495. 480 is 450 is Saudi Arabia in the 8th place. But as I said, all this data is not required. Top 5 is enough for us. Which group has recently agreed to deliver 1 billion doses of COVID vaccine to most of Asia by the end of 2022? That would be the Quad countries. The Quad countries are 4. Quad is quadrilateral, basically. The 4 countries, quadrilateral security dialogue, and these are India, okay, United States, Japan, and Australia. These 4 countries, my friends, have come together to form an alliance, more of a security alliance against an aggressive and rising China. So the common enemy is China. China has brought these 4 countries together. That's the idea. And to play to the gallery, of course, they also said that we will give 1 billion doses of vaccine, COVID vaccine, to Asian countries, especially the countries that are poor, that don't have manufacturing capacity. In fact, among Asian countries, the only country with a large, in fact, the world over, the largest manufacturing capacity is with India. So you have the Serum Institute of India, which is the world's largest contract manufacturer of vaccine. Largest contract manufacturer. It makes vaccines for a lot of other companies. So it's a contract manufacturer. Okay. So these are the 4 countries in the Quad, and they promised this. Coming to BRICS, BRICS are 5 countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. You know about all these countries, all the 5. We have been discussing this for ages now. G20, which is a group of 20 countries, and this would include the European Union also. The G20 includes European Union as an entire entity, plus Germany, France, Italy, Britain, as separate countries. While those countries that are not part of the G20 but are part of the European Union are represented by the European Union. You have Greece. Greece does not have the economic parameters to be a part of the G20, but it's a member of the European Union. So by virtue of that, Greece also gets to be represented at the G20. Okay. G7 is, of course, the 7 most powerful industrial countries in the world. At one time, they were more powerful than many other countries. But just to bring in, because it's only 7 countries, you look at geographical way. You can take in the west, start in the west, Canada, okay, the United States, then you have UK, United Kingdom, then France, okay, we have Italy, Germany, how many have come? Yeah, then you have Japan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 countries. There used to be Russia in the past, but Russia was suspended. From G8 it became G7. So at one time these were the most powerful countries in the world, but no longer. You see, look at, Canada. It doesn't count as any kind of power at all. Yeah, Italy is no power. France is okay. Germany is the most powerful European country. Japan, yes, it has a great voice in the world, especially because it has a lot of money. Okay. The United States has the world's most, thriving economy. Its military is world class. Its scientific achievements are unparalleled. So a lot of things that way. SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. You could write notes on this. Shanghai Cooperation Organization. I would like you to write this. Shanghai, which is, this is China's biggest city. Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Next, founded 2001. Founded 2001. See, 5 years prior to this, it was founded as Shanghai 5. Shanghai 5. It was founded as Shanghai 5 in 1996. But then it took on a different avatar and later absorbed 3 more countries. So Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it is called today. Started in 2001. Head office, of course, as you would know, in Shanghai. Okay. What is that? Okay, I think I can write here. There are 8 members. 8 members. And the Secretary General is Vladimir Norov. Vladimir Norov is of Uzbekistan. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll write the names of the 8 members so that you can write the spelling of Uzbekistan also there. Okay. Easy to write. Russia. I will not number this. Russia. Okay. India. China. And Pakistan. 4 countries. Easy to remember. Got it? Okay. So then we have 4 stans. Tajikistan. We have Kazakhstan. We have Kyrgyzstan, and the last one, Tajikistan. Oh, I have written Tajikistan. I'm so sorry. Happens. Uzbekistan. This is how you spell Uzbekistan. That's where Vladimir Norov, pronounced with an F in the end, Vladimir Norov comes from. Okay. So 8 countries that are members. You could say Russia, China, India, Pakistan. Okay. Then the 4 stans. There are 5 stans actually, but Turkmenistan is not a part of it. So 4 stans: Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. So that's it, my friends. Let's go past this. Name the world's most powerful supercomputer that is ready for use for research ready for use in research. Of course, all supercomputers are either used for research or on different kinds of research, weather modeling. Yeah. Then there is something called different defense uses. They use this for, in the oil industry they use supercomputers. Pretty tough stuff basically. So you have the world's fastest supercomputer is Fugaku. You can take this list of the world's fastest supercomputers. Okay, title: World's fastest supercomputers. Top 5 fastest supercomputers. Underline that. We could do one thing. We could same style. Rank supercomputer, and what is that? Country. Country of origin. Where does it come from? 1. Okay. 1. Fugaku. You could write this is 1. I'll put the number here. 1. Japan. This is from Japan. How fast is it? I was reading about this and I was surprised that it has a speed of 442 petaflops. Peta, floating points of operation. I mean, floating operations point. I mean, think about it. I mean, 442 petaflops is beyond. It can do trillions and trillions of calculations per second. So Fugaku. Number 2 would be, what is that? Summit. This is number 2. United States. Number 2, United States. Number 3, Sierra, United States. See, Sierra is a local word, an American native word, and Sierra typically means mountain. Sierra means mountain, rocky surface. So you have Sierra Nevada in America, which is a mountainous region. In Africa, there is a country called Sierra Leone. Yeah, Leon is Leo. Leo is lion. Okay, and Sierra is mountain, so mountain lion. That's how the names come. Be interested in learning this, my friends. It would hardly take any time for you to learn things like this. I'm curious by nature, so what I do is I try to find out. See, I just don't try to give only the answer to the question. I'll give you a little more because I believe that little more could come in the exam. I mean, you can't really expect this question in the exam. You may not expect this question in the exam. If it may not come, but something else may come, like which is after this, which is the second fastest supercomputer in the world. So you should know. So that's Fugaku, Sierra Leone. Sierra in the third place, Summit in the second place. This is the fourth place, Sunway Taihu Light. This is how it is written. Okay, this is from China. In the fourth place, Sunway Taihu Light. And in the fifth place is Selene, again United States. Selene typically means moon. Okay, yeah, Selene, United States. What about this Param Siddhi? This is the 63rd fastest supercomputer in the world. This is from India. This is from India. Param Siddhi. Lot to learn, guys. See, we may not be as fast as a supercomputer, but we can learn things. And whenever you learn, see, like you may wonder about how do I remember this now? You don't have to remember everything. You just remember that if there is a set of choices like this, Fugaku, alphabetically, what comes first? S or P or F? F comes first. So remember that way. I don't remember that way, but it is a good way to remember. It's a good way to remember things. Okay. So you have Fugaku as the fastest supercomputer in the world. Chaliye. And India's rank is 63rd. What is that? Param Siddhi. For which river has the center recently reconstituted an advisory committee to chalk out a plan for studying this mythical river for the next 2 years? Now, we may say mythical means something that may not exist in real life. Now, this is a very loaded word, especially given the religious sensibilities surrounding this idea of this river. The river is Saraswati, and some people say it exists. I will not get into this entire thing because NASA has corroborated that this exists. There is a river that had dried up thousands of years back, at least 3,000 years back, and the dry river bed beneath the surface is found in the western Rajasthan and eastern Pakistan. And that is also what the Vedas had said, basically, that there is this Saraswati there. Amazing world we live in. There is this Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh, and there is this Kumbh Mela that is held, and where the Kumbh Mela is held, and Prayagraj has Triveni Sangam. Sangam of what? Triveni. 3 river Sangam. Like you have Ganga, Yamuna, not Jamuna, Yamuna. Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. This is where these 3 rivers meet. I don't know, see, it's not about taking a side. It's just that people have beliefs and we should always respect those beliefs. It's a wonderful thing. Okay. I may not agree with you. You may not agree with me. It doesn't matter at all. But the fact that the government of India has invested a lot of money into this, and they said that there is this river. We need to find out the exact course, and maybe if we once we find that, we'll also come up with trying to with methods of regenerating it. Let's hope things work. So you have, see this, for example, you have this river called Brahmaputra. It has multiple names. In Tibet, it's called Sangpo. In Tibet, it's called Sangpo. Okay, it's called Yarlung Sangpo, simply Sangpo. This is Tibet. Okay, in Assam, from there it flows in Tibet. From Tibet it flows east, and it flows east and takes a big U-turn, and that U-turn there, from the U-turn it enters Arunachal Pradesh, where it's called Dihang. In Arunachal Pradesh it's called Dihang. Arunachal Pradesh, Dihang. Dihang becomes, some people say Luit, and some people call it Brahmaputra in Assam. Brahmaputra in Assam. It becomes Luit or Brahmaputra. And from Brahmaputra in Assam, it becomes Jamuna in Bangladesh. It enters Bangladesh, where it's called Jamuna. Now, Ganga, as we call it in India, enters Bangladesh, where it becomes Padma. It becomes Padma. So Ganga becomes Padma in Bangladesh, and these two rivers merge. They merge plus. Together, these rivers are called Meghna in Bangladesh. Amazing thing. Ganga becomes Padma upon entering Bangladesh. Brahmaputra becomes Jamuna. So Padma and Jamuna meet and form the Meghna. That's how it is. It looks a bit complicated, but it's okay. Okay? The 56th day, that's the picture. 56th day long annual pilgrimage to the holy cave shrine of Amarnath will commence on the 28th of June this year and end on 22nd. It will be there for about a couple of months, a little over a couple of months. Under a couple of months. The Amarnath cave temple is in Jammu, Kashmir. It's in Jammu, Kashmir, near Pahalgam. About 50-60 kilometers from Jammu, from Srinagar. Okay, this is located at a height of. I was reading about this. Let me write it here. Okay, at a height of about 3388 meters. No, I think it's 3888. Okay. 3,888 meters, take 3,900 meters. It's located at the height of 3,900 meters, altitude of 3,900 meters. And it is believed that in this cave, see, this is a place where it is believed that Bhagwan Shiv had, sat with Mata Parvati, and this is where Bhagwan Shiv had explained to Mata Parvati the meaning and purpose of life and eternity. Amazing. Yeah, this is what I was like. Belief is a powerful tool. It's a wonderful thing to learn things. So this is a place where Bhagwan Shiv is said to have explained to Mata Parvati the meaning of life and eternity. That is forever, the universe, everything. That's meaning here explained. And in this cave, in the winter months, it's a mountainous area, high altitude. Winter it gets very cold, and what happens here that in winter, there is this ice, ice trickles, and the Shivlinga forms. Remember, if this is a ceiling, my friends, any frozen, if this from the ceiling, if something drops, the water drops basically. Okay, as the water falls, and because of the low temperature and everything, it gets frozen, it freezes. As it freezes, it's called stalactite. What comes from the ceiling is called a stalactite. It's called a stalactite. Sometimes from the ground, from the floor, things go up. Okay, and that's called stalagmite. Now you may wonder, how do I remember this? So You may ask me, Bharat, you may, you tell us how do we remember this? Very easy to remember this. What comes from the floor is called stalagmite. What comes from the ceiling is called stalactite. I'll tell you how to remember. C for ceiling. Okay, so stalactite. G for ground. That's stalagmite. Simple. Yeah. No, I don't remember it that way, but it's a good way to remember. Don't you agree? Yes. I know you would agree with this because it's really easy. Okay. That's a little about Bhagwan Shiv's Amarnath cave. And just to bring in to refresh our memory, the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh is Jairam Thakur. Uttarakhand, new guy, Tirath Singh Rawat. Ladakh has a Lieutenant Governor named Radha Krishna Mathur. Jammu and Kashmir has a Lieutenant Governor named Manoj Sinha. Sikkim's Chief Minister is Prem Singh Tamang. In some places you may not find Tamang, you may find the word Lote, which is okay. I mean, both are fine. ठीक है, चलते हैं. Mumbai recently defeated Uttar Pradesh to claim their fourth Vijay Hazare Trophy. This trophy is associated with cricket. Now, Vijay Hazare Trophy is also called, you could write, Ranji One Day Trophy. Ranji Trophy is, test match. 3-day, 4-day kind of thing. Ranji One Day Trophy. But this time, because of COVID and everything, these things didn't happen. I mean, Ranji Trophy didn't happen. But this Vijay Hazare Trophy did happen. The final took place in Mumbai, if I'm not wrong. And this is where, Mumbai won. I think you could write this. Yeah, Mumbai defeated Uttar Pradesh in the final. Fair? So Mumbai won Vijay Hazare Trophy. The most, for Mumbai, this was the fourth title. You could write this. Fourth title. The highest number of titles highest number of Vijay Hazare Trophy titles belong to Tamil Nadu. 5 titles. So Tamil Nadu has won most Vijay Hazare Trophy titles. 5. Who was Vijay Hazare? Vijay Hazare was an Indian cricket player. He was the captain of the Indian cricket team for a long time, and he considered one of the finest batsmen. And I was reading about him. One thing I found very striking about him is he was a captain. As a captain, he took India to its first ever test win. First test win of India came against England. In 1951. We won by a little over an innings and 8 runs, something kind of thing. Okay, 1951-52. So normally cricket series go like this, 2 years, 51-52. So we have had our first test win against England in 1951-52, and the captain of that Indian winning cricket team was Vijay Hazare. Okay, and that, my friends, while we had won that match, it was India's 25th test match overall. So in our 25th test match, we won our first victory. Okay. Muhammadu Isafu is a winner of the 2020 Ibrahim Prize for Achievement in African Leadership. This is the highest award in African civilian leadership. This is the richest award in Africa, my friends. This guy is the former president of Niger. He is still the president. But why did my colleagues, our team prepares these questions? Why is the word former used there? Because recently, that is last month, elections were held in Niger. This Isafu is the first person in Niger's history to have given up power after 2 terms. He said, Okay, let's hold elections. I don't want to run again. This is the first ever time it has happened. Normally, what happens in Niger's, what has happened in Niger's history is that people have clung on to power. They wouldn't give up power. You look at Uganda. In Africa, this is a story. You look at Uganda. Uganda, we have Yoweri Museveni. He has been in power since 1986. He removed statutory limits on number of terms that a president could have. That's how it is. In Asia, you have a country called Cambodia, where the Prime Minister Hun Sen has been there since the 80s. But this guy gave up power. This is remarkable in a country, in a continent like Africa, where normally people cling on to power. But things are changing a few. So this guy is still is the president because recently in the elections, what's his name? President, Mohammed Bazoum won the runoff, but he did not win a majority. So, he won about 55% of the votes. He won 55% of the votes after in the presidential election, but they are planning another runoff. Let's see. But as of now, Mohammed Bazoum will most likely become the next president of Niger. Once it's confirmed, Issoufou will step down and Bazoum will come in. Niger is a very poor country, desperately poor country, my friends. It's in the African continent in the Sahara Desert, mostly Sahara. Most of the country is Sahara, is a desert place. So if I would want to tell you more, I would rather focus on who runs these countries. Okay, nothing more than that. Algeria, the president is, sorry guys, Abdel Mazid Tebboune. Abdel Mazid Tebboune is the president of Algeria. Algeria, ladies and gentlemen, is the largest country in Africa. It's the largest country by area. It's about 23.8 lakh square kilometer big. 23.8 lakh square kilometer big. So Abdel Majid Tebboune is the president of Algeria. Then we have Ghana. Ghana's president is a guy called Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo. Okay. So this guy is the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. Right, Muhammad, U in the end, Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari. Okay. Then Somalia's president is a guy called Muhammad Abdullahi. Muhammad Abdullahi. Okay. So guys, that's about it. Let's go further and let's look at a few more questions. According to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, which Indian tycoon has added more billions to his wealth than anyone else in the world this year on the back of investor excitement? Yes, Gautam Adani. This guy is the chairman of Adani Group. They're into a lot of company, a lot of stuff like infrastructure, logistics, FMCG, especially oils and all that, metals, coal mining and all that stuff. So the guy has made a lot of money on the back of the increase in share prices of his company shares. That's it. Okay. He's the owner of a company called Adani Green, which is into manufacturing solar panels and all that stuff. And his company has also won the contracts to run 6 airports for the next 50 years. Trivandrum, Mangalore, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, these airports. So this guy is going to run them. Ultimately, what happened? See, they can make money, but investors users get better facilities. And I've been to all these airports, which I can tell you that some of these are in pathetic shape. The idea is that wherever someone is willing to make money, there is expense. And of course, you get better facilities, consumers are willing to pay for them. Okay. Shiv Nadar is founder and chairman emeritus of what is this company? HCL. Founder of HCL, Hindustan Computers Limited, and ladies and gentlemen, he is the father of India's computer industry. Father of India's computer industry. At the time he started HCL, there was almost no one who knew how to use a computer, except that scientists. Almost no one could know. I mean, not this kind. This is a laptop, and these things didn't exist in those days. Computers were very different. Yeah, they were more like a typewriter with a small screen, and sometimes there were no screens at all, with punching machines and all. So in 1977-78, he started HCL. Okay. Shiv Nadar, father of India's computer industry. Ajim Premji, Chairman Emeritus of Wipro Industries, Wipro Group. Mukesh Ambani, as you know, is the chairman and managing director of Reliance Industries Group. Radhakishan Damani is the owner of a company called Avenue Supermarts. Okay, this company owns D-Mart. If you read his story, it will be fascinating. Please go to Wikipedia article on him. You will find a lot of exciting stuff about him. How people have struggled to come to this level. D stands for Damani Mart. That's what it is. It's a pun on this American company called Walmart. Walmart and D-Mart have a similar business model. Okay, and Walmart comes from the name of the guy who started the company, Sam Walton, surname. That's it. Okay. Which football club has been crowned champion of the Heroes Indian Super League 2020-21? Well, it's Mumbai City Football Club. FC's football club, and they defeated runner-up, winner, runner-up. ATK Mohan Bagan was a runner-up this year. And while there's not much to discuss about this, I would want to tell you more here. And this was held in, the final was held in Mumbai. It was held in Mumbai City. Fair? I want you to write this FIFA ranking, world ranking. Sometimes they may ask you to, put them in order. Top 3 will write. Rank 1, Belgium. Rank 2, what is this country? France. 3, Brazil. So the world's number 1 footballing power is Belgium, followed by France and then Brazil. This is men's, okay, men's. If you want to write women's, write women's ranking. And before that, if you want to write India's ranking in this, India's rank is 104 in men's. 104. Women's, we were discussing women's, right? United States, by far it's a world leader. Number 2, Germany. France. So United States, Germany and France, top 3 in the world, women's ranking. Okay. Couple of more things. 2022 FIFA World Cup, Qatar. 2026 venue, United States, 3 countries together, Canada and Mexico. This is how we can add value. I mean, otherwise there is nothing to add in the question. So top 3 in the FIFA men's ranking, top 3 in women's, ranking. India's rank 104 in men's. Women's, I don't have a clue about it. In fact, I don't think Indian football team is ranked there. And if it's ranked, I don't have a clue about it. Venue of the 2022 FIFA Men's World Cup, Qatar, and 2026 it will be 3 countries jointly hosted. The World Cup Football Championship in 2026 will be jointly hosted by the United States, Canada and Mexico. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who passed away recently, was associated with boxing. He was, my friends, he was born Marvin Nathaniel Hagler, but then, he took the nickname Marvelous. All these boxes have nicknames. But while he's nicknamed the Marvelous, he called himself Marvelous and everything. The commentators refused to call him, they would simply call him Marvin Hagler. So, what he did was he legally changed his name from Marvin Hagler to Marvelous Marvin Hagler. So, they were duty bound to use the word marvelous as part of his name to call him. So, he was marvelous, yo, kind of thing. Yeah, marvelous means wonderful. So he was the world champion in, if I'm not wrong, for 7 years. 1980 to 87, he was the world champion. I think middleweight world champion. Middleweight world champion. And during these 7 years, he was challenged 12 times and he won all the 12 championships. So he defended his title 12 times in these 7 years. Okay. He died recently. Okay. With 28 Grammy Awards to her credit, who is now the most decorated woman in the history of the Grammys, the most wonderful Beyonce Giselle Carter. So you could write her full name if you want. And in fact, she is a fabulous singer, Beyonce Giselle. She's an American, of course, but typically this is a Spanish or say Portugal, word. Beyonce Giselle, Beyonce Knowles. So Knowles Carter. So Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter. That's her full name. Oh, she's a fabulous singer. Listen to her. Great stuff. She belts out. Terrific. In fact, you should listen to her album named Lemonade. Lemonade. This is a terrific album. Great. And there is another album you could also listen to. Dangerously in Love. Dangerously in Love. Okay. Very good album. Very good songs. Apart from this 28 Grammy Awards, she has won multiple other awards. I was reading about her awards actually, though I frequently listen to her. So do I listen to Swift and more importantly Madonna. She's also won 14 MTV Video Music Awards. That's a big number. 14 MTV Video Music Awards. Yeah. She's a superstar, star of superstars. Which High Court has recently ruled that transgender person is entitled to be admitted to the National Cadet Corps. Remember, this is pronounced with C-O-R. Corps means body. Okay. So this P-S is silent. This entire word means body. So that P-S is silent. Remember this. Okay. So National Cadet Corps, in accordance with her self-perceived gender identity. The Kerala High Court had said that transgender persons can be admitted into the NCC because they could either, some people had gone to the court stating that there is no third sex that's mentioned here, so either male or female, so it's not the right thing to do. Gender identity is a personal choice people have, and I think we should stick to that particular thing. Whatever people perceive themselves to be, they should be that. They shouldn't change just because someone doesn't like it. Padma Shri awardee and dancer Chevancheri Kuniraman Nair passed away recently. He was a noted dancer in Kathakali. Now, my friends, I was reading about him. Let me tell you his story. He was born in a small village in Kerala. He died at the age of 104. I mean, he died just recently, very recently. And he was age 104 at the time of his passing away. At the age of 3, he lost his mother. Okay. Then at the age of 13, he lost his father. He was an orphan by the age of 13. And think of those days when there was next to nothing in terms of resources. He was always fascinated by storytelling. So he would frequent this, he would visit these village troops, dance dramas that would go between villages, from village to village. So he then at the at tender age of about 18 something, he left home to to train himself in a nearby town about 30 kilometers or so. So at the age of 31, when he was 31 years old, he met his future wife, Janaki. 6 years down the line, in the first 6 years, they lost their firstborn child. They had a second child. Look at the tragedies. The second child survived, but the wife passed away. So his wife passed away of just after 6 years of marriage. So he suffered. He became an orphan at a very young age. Yeah, lost his mother at 3, lost his father at 13, lost his wife just within 6 years, lost his daughter. Soon after she was born, lost his wife 6 years down the line of down marriage. 6 years after marriage, and he took care of his son later. Very little fellow. He's an exponent in Kathakali. Kathakali, as you know, this is storytelling basically. People work extremely hard, and this is what we should be inspired by. It is not hard work. A lot of people work hard. A lot of people work hard. A lot of people are born with talent. Or sometimes people acquire talent. You know what changes them? See, talent might not prepare you for the worst in life, but your attitude can. If you say that, look, I get into this exam, I'll get into this job, enough for me, life will not go forward. We may age, we may live longer, we may age, but beyond that nothing will come. So if we change, if we keep on learning things, we may give ourselves a chance to do better in life. This is where attitude comes in. The attitude to do better in life, the zeal, the enthusiasm. Look, I can do better. This is tough to learn, but let me learn. Let me learn. I know that it's tough. I know it's tough. So what? I will put in effort. I'll put in a better effort, because there are a lot of things in life that we don't know. In fact, there's almost nothing that we know. So what we do, see, whatever you learn today is through your hard work. Maybe that zeal, सीखेंगे. Yes, सीखना है मुझे. I will learn. I should learn. I must learn. So continue to push yourself hard in life. Every day I learn. For me, it's all new. I never had, trust me, I never heard of this gentleman, this great soul. But look, I learned about him, and I was fascinated with his attitude toward life. It's that attitude that helped him build that entire repertoire of his dances and everything. So please work hard and have a great attitude towards learning. Never ever give up in life. It's very important. Very, very important. Okay? Everyone faces difficulties. Difficulties are problem. Life is tough. So let's work harder. Do better. Get into a great job. Not satisfied? Get into a better job. Okay? Yes. Great's a better. Yes. But work hard. The children's book, Prince with the Paintbrush, the story of Raja Ravi Verma, has been written by, I was reading about, I have read this, if you read this book, The Ivory Throne, it is a very fat volume. There is a history of the Royal House of Travancore, Kerala, Trivandrum. It's one of the greatest books you would ever read on the history of one family. And one of those persons who was associated with the family was Raja Ravi Verma, the great painter. He didn't have a great marriage, but how he channelized his energies and everything, you could see. This painting on the right is There Comes Papa. That's a name. I mean, there could be some Malayali name for it. I'm not familiar with it. But There Comes Papa, this is his daughter. Ravi Verma's daughter, Mahaprabha. Telling his grandchild, look, there comes Papa, her husband. Look at the colors, look at the painting. It's good to learn. Trust me, great to learn things. It's fun. So, I want you to know that Sudha Murthy is the chairperson of the Infosys Foundation. But she's a great writer in her own way. She was a worker. She worked for Tata Motors, I think, if I'm not wrong. And she was the first woman engineer there. And Sudha Murthy is also the writer. Is also a writer of a lot of books, including Dollar Bahu. Dollar Bahu. Yeah. So one more thing I can tell you is Ruskin Bond. Terrific writer, great writer, especially his books. People say they are meant for children, but see, I read. Of course, we are all children. Ruskin Bond, you could write, our trees still grow in Dehra, Uttarakhand. Our trees still grow in Dehra. Okay. Lot to learn, isn't it? Yes. The capital market regulator SEBI has recently formed a group of experts to examine the feasibility of introducing SPAC-like structures in India. SPAC stands for Special Purpose Acquisition Companies. So what are these? Please write. SPAC. This is very important. You may be asked because these have become very fashionable these days. So you may be asked questions in the what we say, interviews. So please write SPAC. Underline that. You take the full form. It's always good to write the full form in brackets. SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Company, singular. Okay. Next, first point. SPAC is formed to raise money. MONEY, money, to raise money through initial public offering, first public issue, through initial public offering in brackets IPO, to buy another company, to buy another company. Full stop. Second point. At the time of its IPO, comma, a SPAC has no existing business. A SPAC has no existing business operations. In short, business operations. Has no existing business operations, or even stated target for acquisition, even a stated target for acquisition. Full stop. I'll explain this, but you write this. So at the time of its IPO, a SPAC has no existing business operations or even a stated target for acquisition. Full stop. A SPAC is also called a blank check company, as investors have no idea what company they finally will be investing in. They finally will be investing in. Last point. Full stop. Investors in a SPAC, 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 investors in a SPAC can range from the general public to private equity firms. Full stop. A SPAC has, last point, a SPAC has 2 years. A SPAC has 2 years to complete an acquisition, or it must return the funds raised back to the investors. A SPAC has 2 years to complete an acquisition, or it must return the funds raised back to the investors. Full stop. That's it. So company started, zero, nothing. It doesn't produce anything, it doesn't make anything, no business operations. Its target is to buy another company, but it needs money. How did it get money? It taps people. It comes with an IPO, initial public offering, telling people that our goal is to buy another company, so we need money for that. There are a lot of other conditions, but we need money for that. This is the reason it's called a blank check company. Why would you say, I want to invest in your SPAC? You come up with a SPAC. I don't know what you will be investing, where will you buy? So I'm giving you money without knowing for what purpose it will be used. The goal is to buy another company, but what company will you buy? I have no idea. So there is no clarity. That's why it's called blank check. Khatam. I don't have paper. So there is nothing. There is nothing here. So you may wonder as to why anyone will invest. Well, people will invest. Let's say SPAC. This company, SPAC buys a big company that makes a lot of money. Investors will get, they own that company now. When they own that company, SPAC owns that company, and if you have invested in SPAC, so you're the owner of that other company. So if that company makes profit, you make money. So this is how it works. In case a SPAC is not able to finish a target, within 2 years it has to return that money to the investors. That's SPAC. These days everyone is talking about SPAC. The newspapers are full of them, blogs are full of them. I don't know if people understand this, but this is a simple understanding. Okay. My life in full, work, family, and our future is a memoir. How do you pronounce this? Memoir, you can say. Best is memoir. It's a collection of memories. It's a collection of memories. Memoir of Indra Nooyi. This is Indra Nooyi. She, is the ex-CEO and chairperson of PepsiCo. She was there. She was there as a CEO for 12 years, which is one of the longest tenures for any company in America. 12 years she was a CEO, professional CEO, and during which time the company's turnover went up 80%, which is phenomenal, my friends. Especially in a crowded market like cola drinks and all that stuff. She moved the company's focus, Pepsi's focus, she moved the company's focus away from these soft drinks, because a lot of scrutiny had come about on this, the ill effects of the sugar, great amount of sugar in these cola drinks. See, when you buy a 300 ml Pepsi can or something, 100 grams is sugar. 100 ml is sugar. It's all sugar, 130 sugar. and it's very bad for health. Okay, and she moved it away from there to health food, health stuff like Tropicana, Quaker Oats, Gatorade, all that stuff. I mean, it's moved away a lot basically from there. In any case, it's still a cola company. You know it as a cola company. Okay. This is Indra Nui. She's from Chennai. She studied her BS for BSc MPC, Mathematics, Physics, Chemistry for you. She studied BSc at Madras Christian College, and from there, that is University of Chennai. From there, she went to IIM Calcutta, did an MBA. From there, she went to Yale University, YALE, where she did an MS in Public and Private Management. And since from there, she started working, and she resigned. She left the corporate world. She's still there in the corporate world, but she left at the very top. At the very top, my friends. She sits on the board of Amazon. Even today, she sits on the board of Amazon, and she sits on the board of, I think, coming May, she will sit on the board of Philips. Yeah, extremely powerful person. She consistently has ranked among the 5 most powerful businesswomen in the world. For about 10-15 years, she is ranked among the top 5 businesswomen in the world, my friends. Yeah, very powerful. So, and yeah, one more thing I would want to tell you, she sits not only on the board of Amazon and future on the board of Philips, but she's also a member of the board of the International Cricket Council. Yes, she's a member of the ICC. She's a board member of the ICC. What about the choices? Mallika Srinivasan, she is CMD, Chairperson and Managing Director of, you could write this, very large company called Tractor and Farm Equipment. Very large company called TAFE, Tractor and Farm Equipment Company. Okay. And Chanda Kochar, ex-CEO of ICICI Bank, in a very bad shape today because of unethical practices, of course. Roshni Nadar, Chairperson of HCL Tech. She is the daughter, the only child of Shiv Nadar, who we mentioned a while ago. Kiran Majumdar Shah, ladies and gentlemen, is the Chairperson, CMD of a company called Biocon. Yeah. Which has become the world's first clean energy company and one of the only 2 Indian firms to be recognized by the WEF's Global Lighthouse Network this year. There are 2 companies. One is Renew Power. This is one Indian company. Okay. The other one is Tata Steel, Kalinganagar, plant at Kalinganagar. Not the entire company. Tata Steel plant at Kalinganagar. So Renew Power and Tata Steel Kalinganagar are 2 Indian companies that have been listed by the World Economic Forum's Global Lighthouse Network. So what is a Global Lighthouse Network? You could write this. World Economic Forum's Global Lighthouse Network. First point, or rather only point, network of 69 companies, network of 69 global companies, 69 global companies that use advanced technologies, they're called 4th industrial revolution technologies, simply advanced technologies to transform factories, value chains, 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 and business models to improve financial and to improve financial and operational returns. Operational returns. That's it, nothing else. It's companies that use the most advanced technologies to make the machine, the business machine, lean and mean, to drive home efficiency. That's it, to bring in efficiency in production and everything else. Yeah, cleaner environment, sustainability. These are the goals. Which company has recently launched a non-linked participating individual life insurance savings plan named Budget Plus, LIC? I am not going to discuss this question. Life Insurance Corporation of India. So the chairman of LIC is M.R. Kumar. You could write this. Chairman of LIC, M.R. Kumar. M.R. Kumar. Chairman of LIC, M.R. Kumar. To which African country has the Railway Minister Piyush Goyal recently flagged off a 3000 horsepower Cape gauge locomotive for export? Mozambique. So we are selling this to countries like Mozambique. So where is Mozambique? It's here. This is Mozambique. Yeah, this country here. In this part of Mozambique, there is an Islamic insurgency happening. Okay, maybe in one of these next sessions I will tell you. We mentioned Niger a while ago. This is Niger. This is Niger, and this is Ghana. Nana Akufo-Addo is here, sitting in Accra, the capital. Okay, yeah. Algeria. Algiers is the capital. Okay. Maps can help you learn a lot of good things. So Mozambique, if you want to write, Maputo is the capital. Maputo is the capital. Maputo, and the president is Philip Nyusi. Philip Nyusi. Currency is okay. Since I mentioned it, I'll just finish this here. Metical, that's the currency. Metical, easy to remember now. I just found it now. Capital Maputo with the M, currency Metical with an M. Since we have discussed Ethiopia and Nigeria in the past, we will bring in just Morocco. Morocco's capital is Rabat. Okay, that's the capital, and the president is this guy named not the president. There's a monarchy here. Monarch is Muhammad the Sixth. Muhammad the Sixth. Muhammad the Sixth. You want to know where is Morocco? It's on the western. It's the westernmost. You see this. This is Morocco. Okay. Western Sahara. It says it's an independent country, but Morocco claims Western Sahara. Okay. I think that's about it. Sudan. Would you want to know about Sudan? This is Sudan. Very large country, third largest in Africa now. This is one. Number 2 is the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Number 3 is Sudan. Sudan's capital is Khartoum, and the president is a guy called Prime Minister, Abdallah Hamdok. Abdallah Hamdok. Okay. Which of the following is true with respect to external commercial borrowings in general? I think the first point is that ECB stands for external commercial borrowing. Yes, ECB is a loan available from non-resident lenders with a minimum average maturity of 3 years. Minimum. Individuals, trusts, and non-profit making organizations are not eligible to raise ECB. Access of ECB through the approval route needs approval from the RBI. Yes. Now, who can see this is all right, but who can raise money through ECB? Only corporates. Only corporates. So external commercial borrowings are simply the money borrowed by Indian companies abroad. So if Airtel wants to borrow money okay, abroad, it can borrow. That borrowing is called ECB, external commercial borrowing. External is outside India in this case. We have, let's say, how much, what's the total ECB of India? It will shock you. $211 billion. Indian companies have borrowed $211 billion. Yes. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a part of India's external debt. As of June 2020, then that's the latest number. As of June 2020, the total external debt of India is $555 billion. It's actually 554.5. I have taken, see, it's 554.5. I have taken 555. Out of $555 billion, I have $555 billion worth of debt. 211 is owed by Indian companies abroad. Think about it. It's not the government of India's loan, it's private companies. And apart from this, another 113. So to this, you can add $113 billion is NRI deposit. NRI deposit. So think about it. NRI deposits, your cousin who works abroad, who lives abroad, deposits in a foreign currency account with HDFC Bank, some money with that. So that is part of this NRI deposit. It has to be returned, so it's a liability. So it's a part of India's debt. So 133, you take that now. Add external commercial to NRI deposits. That's about $344 billion. 344 out of this, you can understand, it's 60%. Now, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, more than that, 60, that is what is owed by just two entities. It's not the government of India's loan. Government of India owes over $100 billion, less than 109. The actual number is 109. That's about it. But otherwise, it's all foreign money, money borrowed from abroad. Okay. Which bank has launched the Saral scheme for a special affordable home loan for urban and rural areas? ICICI Bank has launched this scheme. It's meant for economically, people with max household, not just one individual, household income of 6 lakh per annum. Max household income of 6 lakh per annum. Think about it. And this is basically meant for, the encouragement is given to people from economically weaker sections, especially women. So that's, and maximum home loan is 35 lakhs. See, someone who earns less than 6 lakh rupees per annum, for them 25 lakhs, 35 lakhs is ages. A lot of money, my friends. Lot of money. Okay. Bank of Baroda CEO Sanjeev Chadda. Union Bank of India Raj Kiran Rai. Union Bank of India. Indian Bank Padmaja Chunduru. ICICI Bank, Sandeep Bakshi, and HDFC Bank is Sashi Jagdishan. In which Indian state has the US electric car giant Tesla established a research and development unit? Karnataka. We are doing this in Karnataka. Tesla, to tell you a little about this company is headquartered in Palo Alto, California, United States. Okay, Palo Alto, California, United States. It's, it's not a pacha company. It's a $32 billion company. That's bigger than TCS, much bigger than TCS. It's about 31.5. I made it $32 billion. And multiple co-founders. The current CEO is a very famous chap. You would know him. I mean, you have heard of him. Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a CEO. And what does it do? Solar panels, electric car batteries, electric cars. It makes all that stuff. Chalo. The country of focus at the 51st International Film Festival of India's Bangladesh. It was held in January this year, Bangladesh. It was held in Goa. Okay, and venue was Goa. And Bangladesh, my friends, is a country of focus, as which part of which 4 films from Bangladesh were screened. 4 films. Okay. Now I would tell you about not these countries and everything. I have always been speaking about countries. I'll tell you which film won the awards here. 2-3 points. Just write this. 2-3 major points. Right. Lifetime Achievement Award. You could write this. 51st IFFI. 51st IFFI, Goa, or rather Goa 2021, sorry. 2021, I went back 10 years. There wouldn't have been coronavirus. Lifetime achievement, Vittorio Storaro, Italian cinematographer. Vittorio Storaro, Italian cinematographer. Okay? He won the Lifetime Achievement Award. His films include The Last Emperor. I think it was made by Akira Kurosawa. I have watched it actually, The Last Emperor. And his most brilliant film is a film everyone here should watch, Apocalypse Now. The photography is par excellence, and he was responsible. Apocalypse Now. This is a movie that was made in the 70s, starring Marlon Brando. Yes. The best part about the film is, of course, it's set in the real background. The story is not real, but the background is real. So this is what is called a historical fiction. The story, the characters could be fictional. The actual story is real. Everything surrounding is real. It's a story of the Vietnam War. America fought this Vietnam War between 1955 and 74, and this is the story. Apocalypse Now. Terrific film. So, Lifetime Achievement Award to Vittorio Storaro, Italian cinematographer. One famous film, Apocalypse Now. Next, right. Best film dash Golden Peacock Award. Best film, Golden Peacock Award. Golden Peacock Award dash I just clear this so that the name is clear. Into the Darkness. The name of the film is Into the Darkness by Anders Refn. REFN from Denmark. I don't know anything about this film. Enough. Okay. So 2 things. One, Lifetime Achievement Award, and the second, Golden Peacock Award, which is the highest award given to the best film at the event. Okay? Oh boy, that's it. I think we spent considerable amount of time this time. So that's about it, guys. Thanks from Bharat. Thanks for being here. Have a lot of fun. Stay curious.